My name is Lakisha Spletzer, and I'd like to welcome you to the Moonbeams Werelove blog tour. Now, if you've been with me through July, you've kind of hit up a couple of different stops along the way, maybe entered a few of the giveaways, and learned a little bit more about Moonbeams and Werelove Midnight Revelations. If you're joining me for the first time on the tour, I'd like to welcome you, and I hope that you enjoyed the August stops just as much. When I decided to do this particular interview, I wanted to try something different. That's what makes life spicy, gives us flavor, character, and makes it all around fun. So I asked Ashley if she would be bold enough to try a vlog on her part of the tour. She said yes, and I got stumped. What exactly could I say that you hadn't already heard, haven't already read, and maybe didn't already know? Well, I guess probably the best thing to tell you would be about the book itself. Well, the books, I should say. See, even writers get tongue-tied. But I wanted to tell you a little bit about the books and about the writing behind them. With Moonbeams, it was a labor of love. I mean, so far, it's taken the longest to get written. 7 years, in fact. On again, off again, back and forth. But finally, I got it done. It started in 2004 and was completed in January 2011. And that was just the first draft. I wanted it to be special. I wanted it to be fun. I wanted it to be my tribute to the fantasy genre that I had grown up loving so much. I was inspired by authors such as Piers Anthony, Anne McCaffrey, Andre Norton, Mercedes Lackey, and a host of others. Robert Jordan, just to name a few. All of them brought something to the table. All of them inspired me. And all of them are great, wonderful, incredible writers. Moonbeams was a little bit of a departure for me because it was strictly fantasy. I wasn't mixing my paranormal or even sci-fi in with it. So to do a true fantasy required a little bit different direction than some of my other works. But I thought, why not? It's a challenge. And me, well, my friends will tell you, I love a challenge. So into this world came Shaylia, Gerton, Corey, Megan, Rob, and a host of other characters. Now, one question I get asked a lot about Moonbeams is, why 3 college students? Well, I wanted 3 college students because I'm a college graduate myself. And just because you get into college doesn't mean your life stops. In fact, it starts. You have a lot of adventures when you go to college. You learn a lot of things, and you get to know more about yourself. I thought they would be the perfect people to have this amazing adventure in a fantasy land. They're not really sure where they're going in life. They kind of have a plan. But this would help them learn more about themselves, help them mature, and help them to learn that being an adult can actually be fun sometimes. So I took the 3 college students and I decided to do some stereotypes. I love my stereotypes, ask my editors. So I chose the jock, the diva or the beauty queen, and the nerd. Made them best friends and put in a little bit of past history between the jock and the beauty queen. And voila, you had a mixture set for insanity. Pick them up, throw them into a world that they knew nothing about, filled with monsters, crazy people, and as Megan put it, the guy with the pointy ears looks like the dude from Lord of the Rings movies. And you had a barrel of fun. Add in some danger, some laughter, some miscommunication, and you've got the veil. With the fantasy creatures and races, I wanted to do the traditional archetypes. I almost said stereotypes, but that would be the wrong word here. Archetypes. So I did have elves, I have a dwarf, you've got ogres and those such, but I did want to, tweak it a little bit. It's no fun if it's, generic. So I decided to have a half-elf warrior female that is kind of like our police officers today. Her job is to go around and, put out people that are disturbing the peace. Putting out sounds really bad, but maintain the peace probably sounds a little bit better. She's very dedicated to her job, doesn't have time for family, has made some friends along the way, and she's got loyal companions that travel with her. You've got the dwarf, you've got the elf. I've got a fairy, but guess what? She's not this little. and a host of other characters that you meet along the way. So there you go. That's what you put together to make a recipe for the Veil. Werelove Midnight Revelations. For those of you that have read the first book, Werelove Dusk Conspiracy, you know that Werelove Midnight Revelations is the sequel. Question that I get asked often about Werelove is, how many books are you planning on doing? Well, for Layla's story, which is the one that's going right now, there are 5 books planned. So you've got 3 more to go, okay? However, there are other books being planned within the series, which we'll talk about later in the blog tour, so you got to keep your eyes posted for those announcements. But with Werelove, it was my first trip into YA, young adult. When I started to write this story back in 2008 during NaNoWriMo, I wanted to kind of revisit my high school years. I wasn't popular. I was just me. I was a nerd, very shy. Of course, you wouldn't know it now. But, you know, very kind of timid, had my nose in a book. That was kind of my life. But I wanted to do a YA story that took elements of my life and put it in this fantastical world. And, hey, I love shapeshifters of all shapes, sizes, varieties, and kinds. It's just something cool about being able to go from being human to being an animal, or if you're able to shapeshift from human to human, hey, who doesn't need a change every once in a while, right? But I wanted to visit my high school years and play with it a little bit, work out some of my own inner angst, I guess you could say. When I was in high school, I was the victim of bullies, and it wasn't fun. It was horrible. It never left me, and to this day I still remember. So that is where one of the themes from the book came from. I also wanted to deal with single parent families, dysfunctional families, relationships, whether it's your friend or whether it's your first love. I just kind of want to explore everything that I either had in high school or didn't have, wished I could have experienced. And thus Werelove was born. Now in book 1, Layla is trying to discover why she was the victim of an attempted kidnapping, and chaos pretty much ensues. When you get to book 2, there's still a lot of unanswered questions going on, but she's starting to learn more. She's also in her senior year of high school at this point, so she's got a lot on her mind. College, boyfriend, future job, things that matter a lot when you're that age. So, if you like mysteries, a little bit of conspiracy, lots of dysfunctionality, some craziness, maybe an attempted murder or two, then you might want to check out Werelove Midnight Revelations. And, of course, make sure you read the first one, Werelove Dusk Conspiracy. I want to thank you for stopping by on this leg of the blog tour. I hope that you'll give my books and me a chance. I do have other novels coming out later in the year, so make sure you check out KishazWorld.com for the latest info. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, and, well, pretty much about anywhere possible that you can be visible. So thank you very much once again for stopping by, and I hope you will continue on with the rest of the tour. See you at the next stop.